Peace, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of Get Buckets with Coach Gus Gauntlett and friends. I have another guest from outside of California. I love the expansion of the community. I have an amazing guy, Coach Jason Vann, with us here today. After 20 years of coaching, most recently at Northwest University up in Washington, Jason has recently started an awesome website called Next Play Hoops. I'm going to put that link down below in the description. Coach Jason, thanks for being on the show. I'd love to just to hear a little bit about what you're doing, and if you could tell us a little bit more about Next Play Hoops as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, Coach. First of all, thanks for having me on your podcast. It's an honor to be here. Like you said, I've been coaching for 20 plus years now. Hard to believe it's already been 20 years, but I started Next Play Hoops, which is a website that has 64 playbooks. I spent the last 2 years basically gathering all of my data, all of my plays, all of my drills, and decided to put it into Fast Draw and share it with coaches and kind of help grow the game. So, studying the game, watching the game, going to a lot of high school games. I see a lot of coaches that run certain offenses and this and that, and just wanted to kind of give them some new techniques and some new ideas, new concepts and stuff. And so, yeah, we're excited to launch. We just launched about a month ago.
Beautiful.
So it's been exciting. And here I am with you on your podcast now and getting to meet new people, and it's a cool thing. So
Absolutely. I've gone through your website a bunch of times, and I love just how extensive it is, from the playbooks to the different books from other DVDs from other coaches that you recommend. It's just I just feel like the website is a really nice curated list of just great knowledge, and also opportunities to consult with you. I love how you have that offer on there as well.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest things. I have spent tens to $20,000s of dollars going to clinics, coaching DVDs. I got about $10,000 in coaching DVDs in the other room. And I wanted to be able to have a one-stop shop for all coaches. And one of the reasons I'm glad you brought that up is I have 3 main books on my website that are kind of encyclopedias more so.
Okay.
And then I have smaller versions of books for the people that might be a little bit too much. But what I wanted to do was create the books where it could be a one-stop shop. And if you're a new coach or just kind of getting in the game and you want to learn, everything that's kind of happened in the last 20 years, you can do that. It's got everything in it, from zone offense to baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, continuity offenses, series, transition breaks, secondary breaks, all that stuff. So, a little bit of everything. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel it looks like it's like what I'm hearing from you, both at your house and on this website. I'm hearing, basketball library. Where is that first, official basketball library going to pop up in this country with just amazing resources? It sounds like you'd be a great contributor to that.
Right, for sure.
I love it. Cool. Well, just like every episode, we like to hop right into it. So each of us will share a play, give each other some feedback, and keep sharing that knowledge. So, Coach Jason, you're up first. You got the share screen. I'd love to see what you got.
All righty. Let's go over here. Let me know if you can see that.
That's perfect.
First of all, Coach just told me a couple minutes ago, he actually emailed it to me, so I just kind of want the viewers to know. I had about 5 plays. I had a really tough time narrowing it down. I had 5 plays kind of picked out for this, and then he told me, well, no, there's only 10 seconds left, and we're down 1, correct? Is that the scenario? Okay, so I had to kind of on the fly find one really quick that would fit that situation. Some of you guys might recognize this play. Virginia actually ran this, Tony Bennett, in the national championship game. And as we go through this, you might recognize it, but it's a hammer play on the weak side of the floor. You can start the ball with the 1. Obviously, we got 10 seconds left. We got to get the ball in bounds, make sure that we're set up properly and quickly. We can either entry pass to number 3, or we can actually dribble entry to number 1, right? Here we're gonna pass to 3. 1's gonna come off if you go into frame 2 over here, and immediately get the DHO from 3. As that's happening, 4 has to come up to set the ball screen. So as soon as 1 gets it, he's coming off here in drift hammer action. And on the weak side, you got 5 number coming up to set the back screen here for 2, who's gonna set up his man and then come off here. And then you got that drift entry pass, okay? Now, the way Tony Bennett ran it is he wasn't looking for that. This was more of a decoy. So as I go to frame 3 here, and you can kind of see in 2. Once 4 sets this screen here for 1 who comes off on the DHO, he's now going to set a second screen for number 3. And I love this, and they call this Ricky action. And then 3 comes back off this screen looking for the 3. And that's where they hit, what was the kid's name who hit the big shot? Can't remember if it was to put it in overtime or.
Oh,
Not ringing a bell to you?
yeah, I think he went to the Kings. Guy?
He did. Yes, there it is, Guy.
Yeah.
So you're looking for the jump stop, reverse pivot, pass back here to number 3. But the nice thing is if X4 decides to cheat that, we're slipping it and looking for that right here. And you still have the drift pass opportunity too. So you got 3 options here for a game winner.
Love it. Love it. This is so funny. This play is actually has a lot of similarities to a guest we had 2 weeks ago, Kevin Pham, who's actually the head coach at UC Merced here in California.
Okay.
Really, really similar action. I love the action of the one really, really attacking hard on that baseline, trying to create as much attention towards them as possible, and then just that reverse pivot back with the 3 filling that space that he just created is beautiful.
I'm a big fan of misdirection plays.
Yeah.
You get the ball going one way, the defense is all rotating that way, and then we're coming back the opposite way. That's deadly. So
absolutely. What one question I ask coaches whenever I look at their plays is, what does a great defense do to make this play difficult?
Well, I think any defense switching is a huge you got to be able – I'm constantly, from day one in practice, teaching kids how to read a switch and to slip. So, most teams can get you out of your offense pretty easily just by switching.
Sure.
It's going to create a lot of mismatches on the floor that you can take advantage of. I like to switch personally defensively. If you play with a shot clock, I like to go into automatic switch in the last 10 seconds of a shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
Because then our opponents don't have enough time to take advantage of that mismatch, whether it be in the post or on the perimeter. So that would be one thing, but that's kind of why we end with the slip action here. So If they do want to switch that, we got the answer to it. So
Love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, you mentioned you're itching to get back on the court, so I'm hoping that next time you're out there and maybe you're in a similar situation, down 1 with 10 seconds, maybe you go 21 Kansas go.
I don't know. Now the whole world knows it. I might have to go to my backup, but should I stop sharing this now?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks so much.
Cool. Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Yeah, obviously, Tony Bennett's a mastermind, a genius, and when you have knockdown shooters like Guy and just your personnel often helps you decide what plays to run in that moment too.
And it makes your job pretty easy too when you got guys who can shoot the ball like that, right?
It was he went nuts in that tournament, definitely in the Final Four.
He did.
All right, so it's funny that you mentioned dribble handoff, and actually the play that I am going to share with you guys today, I actually came up with during yesterday's game, the day before when Miami was playing the Lakers, and Kelly Olynyk did just some great dribble handoff, but also some fake dribble handoff and then attack. And I'm 5'9", so I've been using my mind to get buckets, for the past 20 years of my playing career. And the fake dribble handoff has always been one of my favorites, just to catch guys even leaning just a little bit the wrong way, turn the other way and get to the rack. So with this play, we like to set it up here. Gonna have just pretty standard our 1, bringing it down, our 3 spaced out, our 5 is gonna start here, our 4 will be about here, and our 2 is here. So first action is we have just a entry from the 1 to the 4, or we'll have the ball. After that 1 makes that entry, he's gonna cut through the lane, clear out, 2's gonna just push up, and the 1's gonna continue on here. When that pass goes to the 4, 5 is just going to edge out a little bit, just create some space outside the 3-point line, and the 3 is going to drop down to the corner just a bit. So after that first entry of the 1 passing to the 4 and cutting through, where we're looking like is we got the 4 with the ball here, 2 here, 1 here, 5 coming up above, and the 3 spaced out. So as I said, I love dribble handoffs and fake dribble handoffs. So I said, why not just have 2 in one play? You know, I want to make the decision, try to make as many difficult decisions in a short amount of time as possible, especially with 10 seconds left. So what we've got is here, the 4 with the ball. The first option, or the first look rather, the first action is the 2 coming off that. And I want this to be a fake dribble fake handoff. So the 4 has, at this point, has not dribbled yet. They're still with the ball with their dribble. So we're going to fake that handoff to the 2 just to get people looking. And the 2 is actually going to continue on here. The second the 2 passes the 4 and doesn't get that ball, the 1 is going to follow that right back up with another dribble handoff potential action. And so here we have 2 possibilities. Possibility number 1 is the 4 does that dribble handoff to the 1. So the 1's now got the ball here, all right? And simultaneously, that 2, who's now cleared out on here, is setting a down screen for the 5. And I love guards that set great screens. So I'm really looking for a guard to set a screen hard on that 5. And very rarely do defending big men like to be screened, 19 feet away from the basket. That's where I think you can kind of trip them up a little bit. So we have the 5 setting the screen, this back screen the 2 setting the back screen for the 5. 5 is diving. So at this point, if the handoff did go to the 1 has options here. The 1 can just attack in this area here, or if this is a nice screen and we've got some space, he has this option to pass to the 5, cut into the rack. So I like that as one option. If this the defender of the 3 sees this screen and sniffs out this action here, and they want to try to sneak in to hit here and get just block that pass, then my 1 is reading that, and they're going to make that quick decision for a full switch pass to ideally to the 3 for a wide open shot. So that's if the handoff happens. So just to repeat that, 4 hands off to the 1. Simultaneously, we have the 2 in the back screen to the 5, dive into the rack. The 1 can either attack this middle to the free throw line area or look for the 5 on the cut. If the 3's defender chugs the 5, then we're looking for that cross-court pass for ideally for a 3 for a wide-open jumper here. Final option is if they sniff out this 1, or maybe the 4 sees their defender leaning to stop this handoff to the 1, then they're just playing basketballs. And this is what Kelly Olynyk did 2 nights ago. Is he just hit that fake? It was probably Hero or maybe Robinson coming off there. Just gave him that fake handoff. Saw his defender leaning, turned that corner, and with the big body on his defender, just went right to the rack, right into his defender, and got the bucket and finished strong.
I want to say that was a wide open layup too, wasn't it? I know.
Yeah, it was open just because he was able to use his body to create that space off his defender. I think his defender was in the area, but just not nearly in a position to stop the layup by any means.
Yeah. So
that's the play. I'm gonna call it DDHO for double dribble handoff for now until I come up with a cool name for it. But I like the 2 and then the 1 coming right behind it, and it's just giving the defender of the 4, the 2, and the 1 just a lot of things to think about in a very short period of time, and then cap it off with nice little 2s back screen on a 5, dive into the rack as another possible option for a back cut pass.
Love it.
What do you see? What do you like? What don't you like? How could you alter it? What are your thoughts?
For me, I look at it. I see a couple things. Number 3, I'd probably lift up a little bit, maybe have 2 kind of come up. 5 could get in the way there with 4 slipping on that roll. But more importantly, I think what I would do, we talked about this before we went on air, is how popular Chicago action is now.
Sure.
So you had, I can't remember if you had the 1 down. Did you have the 1 down below and 2 up top?
1 like before the dribble handoff action.
Correct.
Yeah. 2
I think you had 1 come right down the middle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dribble entry.
So I think what I would
and then pass and clear out.
What I would probably do is go, or this is just where my mind goes, just for something different. Is I run point over action on that. So 1 passes the ball to forward instead of cutting down the middle. 4's now got the ball.
Yep.
And 1 comes off an over action, almost like pinch post action.
Here.
And then comes and then sets a down screen for number 2.
Yep.
And then now you go into that action.
Gotcha.
And what you can do, you could have two curl. You could either, you could have them do that off of 4 and maybe go into.
Oh, you're saying off the one screen.
Correct. And then he goes off of one screen, and
Almost
then
here?
you could go either way, whichever way you want to go.
Yep.
And then you have one come back off that.
Got you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
but then
absolutely.
what you would have to do on that, it would eliminate your 5 over there, because 2 would continue its cut to the corner, 3 would lift up, and 5 would just maintain space. And you'd basically have 2-man action going over here with spacing on the weak side. That's just a whole nother different look. So you got 2 plays in one. You gave 4 options, and then you could run that a couple times through the game, and they think one thing's coming, and then you handle that. Something totally different. So
no, I love that. And I love, one of the first coaches I interviewed on this podcast talk about the importance of how you get into a play. Yep. Just the movement. And I love that, by passing over to the 4 and then going that way and setting it down for the 2, I can still get into that same play, but there's even another cool action even prior to that, which is a great extra look.
Correct. And, one other thing I can add too, it's like, if you're coming off here, I know we only got 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We're 10 seconds and we're down 1. But if you're coming off on the DHO on the other side, and you see Purdue, Matt Painter runs a lot of that. Like number 1 might come up and do a DHO with number 3, and then 3 comes up and then hits 4. You know what I mean? Sure. Just as some false motion, decoy action, just get the defense going. Get the weak side moving. Maybe X2 comes over in the middle of the floor.
Yep.
And maybe you start 4 down on the block and have him flash up. So 3 hits 4, and then you're in your action. Just little things like that kind of toy with the defense a little bit,
I love that. Yeah. The more movement, the more decisions they have to make, the better. That's great feedback. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, great play though.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we like to wrap up every episode with the question for our coach of the week. So for you, I guess, you mentioned that in your website, part of what you're trying to do is kind of help coaches embrace a new, like, modern, innovative style of basketball. So I guess, like, in your personal opinion, what is your ideal, beautiful iteration of basketball? And we'll talk about offense. We keep it separate. We can talk about offense and defense. Like, what is your just beautiful, perfect offense look like, and what does your ideal defense look like? All things.
Loaded question, first off.
I love loaded questions. Give me the long answer.
So I guess it depends on the level. I'm an old school coach. I like good motion. So I enjoy the college game a lot more than I do the NBA game. But, it's hard to ignore some of the new things that are going on in the NBA. In recent years, you're seeing the 5-out stuff, and I've been running 5, I call it 5 wide, but I've been running that for 20 years. But I like to run a lot of quick hitters, so I can get the players that I want, the shots that I want in their spots that are their strengths, and I can kind of control a game that way. Not all game, but I might run, let's say 25 to 35% of quick hitters, but then it flows into a 5-out motion.
Gotcha.
It's kind of a read and react. I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Harry Perretta, who was the women's head coach at Villanova.
No.
He's got an amazing DVD out, and I think it's called like the 5-out unscoutable offense or something like that. And it kind of changed the way I coached. As far as how I was coaching the 5 wide, he had a number system where he would call 5 wide 1, for example, and it would be a pass and cut through. Then he'd call 5 wide 2, it'd be a pass and pick away. 5 wide 3 would be a pass, pick away, and then reject the screen and backdoor cut. And then 5 wide 4 would be pass, pick away, pick and slip, and then the guy fills. But the great part about that for me, and I kind of took that and ran with it within my 5 wide offense, was number 1, I could communicate with my players how the defense was playing, and it put my passer and my cutter on the same page. So it limited turnovers. So if I called 53 or if I called 54, my team automatically knew they're switching. This is what we need to be looking for. And that stuff was wide open. And I have number systems that go all the way to 5 wide 8 that have like reverse flares and reverse curls and all kinds of crazy stuff. But so to me, and that's kind of a read and react. But the other cool thing about that was I never had to call timeout, so I saved quite a few timeouts by doing that as well, right?
That's for your end of the game when you're down 10. You need to draw up that real detailed one.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that'd be my answer on that. Defensively, I'm a coach that likes to make the other team think. I like to switch things up. I like to go into a 1-2-2, 3-quarter, one time down, then we drop into a 3-2, and then ball goes below the free throw line. We might drop into a 2-3. Like I mentioned to you earlier, we're switching all ball screens, any off-ball screens in the last 10 seconds of a shot clock. Keep the other team guessing. Where are we trapping from? They don't know where it's coming from. We might trap from the strong side, the weak side, low, high. So I it's loaded, but kind of all over the board with that. But I like to switch things up and make the other team have to think and not know what's coming. So
I think that's a great baseline philosophy, and then what you do from there is up to you. But anytime you can, that's one thing I think that separates good defensive coaches from great defensive coaches is that defense. Great defense is putting pressure on the offense. A lot of people think that offense is the time for the offensive players to figure out how they want to work at their plays and make the defense react. When you have a great defense, you're making that offense struggle just to try to get through what they want to go to. And that's it's not only an X's and O's thing, but that's instilling, just crazy amounts of effort and focus into your players who are down to commit to that level on the defensive end.
No question. I was just talking to a coach about this the other day, and what happens when you're playing a team that is more athletic than you, that loves to push the pace, get out on the break, get out and run. What do you do? I mean, do you just drop back in your man-to-man and let them push the ball, or do you stop them and get into a quarter court? You don't have to trap, just a soft press, slow them up, make them have to pass the ball a few times, slow the game up, slow the amount of possessions up, So don't be stubborn either. I think that's one key thing, that coaches get stubborn and we're going to do this and we're not going to change what we're doing. It's it's okay. Every game's different.
It's amazing how many life similarities there are in the coaching strategy world.
Right.
I love it. Jason, I'm so appreciative of your time. Everyone, definitely, I'm going to put the link to your website in the description below. Please check out the site. It's incredible. Just a treasure chest of knowledge. Jason, thanks for all your years in the game, and I'm excited for you whenever you're ready and whenever the opportunity comes. That's a good fit for you. I'm excited for you to get back on the court as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Gus.
No doubt. Have a great day.
Hey, you as well.